So last class we learned about
cognitive development.
Cognitive development. So who coined the cognitive development theory, Sana? Sana? Jean Piaget. Okay. Which are the stages? The stages of cognitive development. Mainly there are 4 stages. Which are they? Sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and formal operational stage. The first stage is sensory motor stage. It starts from it starts from birth and continues to 2 years. And after 2 years, that is after sensory motor stage, it comes pre-operational and then concrete, and the last stage is formal. So in sensory motor stage, we have object permanence. The child learn about object permanence, the like hide and seek and all. They have an idea that the object is hidden, but it is there. That is object permanence. They get an idea about object permanence in sensory motor stage from birth to 2 years. That is for infant. And the next is what, Raina? After sensory motor stage?
Pre-operational.
Very good. Pre-operational stage. It is from
2 to 7.
Very good. It is from 2 to 7. So in pre-operational stage, you have animism, egocentrism, and lack of conservation. Okay. In sensory motor stage, you have object permanence. And in pre-operational stage, you have animism. Then Meghna, after animism?
Ecocentrism.
Ecocentrism. One more.
Lack of conservation.
Lack of conservation. Then we will move on to the next stage, that is concrete operational stage. In pre-operational stage, there is no conservation, but here they have the conservation skills. Okay. In pre-operational stage, they lack conservation, but in concrete operational stage, we have, or the child have conservation. Okay. Then what is conservation? Sana, what is conservation? Just try, relax and try.
The amount of the object remains the same even if the appearance is changed.
Very good, very good. Okay, so here we can see the gain the ability of conservation. And the next is they have the ability, or they gain the ability to sort objects according to their size and shape. This is from 7 to 11 years. Okay, so they have the ability to sort objects according to their size and shape. For an example, if we provided some different sizes objects or different blocks to the child, they can easily arrange according to the size and shape. Okay, this is the first point, and this is called as seriation. This is called as seriation. The ability to arrange things according to the size and shape. That is called as seriation. Okay. So in concrete operational stage, they gain about conservation and they have seriation. Conservation and seriation. Seriation means they gain the ability to sort the objects according to their size and shape. That is called as seriation. And the next is they gain the ability to recognize logical relationships among elements in a serial order, which means they gain the ability, or they understand the logical relationships in a serial order, which means okay, I will give an example. That is, this is A. Okay, this is A. If A is taller than B, this is A, B, and C. If A is taller than B, B is taller than C. Okay, what? A is taller than B, B is taller than C. Then A must be taller than C, right? This is a logical relationship. If A is taller than B and B is taller than C, Samely, A is taller than C. We use logistics, right? Our logical thinking is taking place here. This is called as what? Transitivity. This is called as transitivity. The logical relationships. This is called as transitivity. Transitivity. Okay. So in concrete operational stage, we have conservation, or the child has conservation. They develop the conservation skills and they have seriation and transitivity. Seriation means the ability to sort objects in a particular size and shape. Transitivity means they gain the ability to logical relationships. Logical relationships like if A is taller than B, B is taller than C, then A must be taller than C. Okay, that is a logical relationship. That is called as transitivity. Is it clear? Okay. Then what is object permanence, Anna? Object permanence.
To be able to identify the hidden objects
Good.
is known as object.
Okay. Then Meghna, what is egocentrism?
It is they can put themselves in another person's point of view.
That is egocentrism. Okay. It is not there in pre-operational stage. And then about concrete operational stage, we learned about seriation and transitivity. Okay. Seriation means, what is seriation? The ability to sort the objects according to their size and shape, that is called as seriation. And the transitivity, the ability to gain the logical relationships in a serial order, that is called as transitivity. So conservation is the seriation, and one more, transitivity is there. Okay. Then in the case of concrete operational stage, egocentrism is eliminated. So there is no egocentrism. In this stage, there is no egocentrism. We eliminate that development from our stage. Egocentrism means they can't able to identify others' viewpoint. But when the child reached into 7 to 11 years of age, their egocentrism, they eliminate that ability. They eliminate the egocentrism. Is it clear, Reina? Okay. Then I will repeat. Okay. In concrete operational stage, we have conservation. Just note down the points, the key points. Conservation, seriation, transitivity, elimination of egocentrism. Okay. Conservation, seriation, transitivity, elimination of egocentrism. And one more is it is the ability to group objects together on the basis of the features. They gain the ability, the ability to group objects together on the basis of some common features like orange, apple, grape, all these belongs to fruit family, right? So they can group the objects together according to their common features. That is called as classification. That is called as classification. So, seriation is there. In concrete operational stage, seriation is there. Then transitivity. Then after transitivity,
Elimination of egocentrism.
elimination of egocentrism, and then
Conservation.
conservation, right? Conservation. Okay. Then they gain the ability to classify the things according to their common features. Okay. That is called as classification. That is called as classification. So in concrete operational stage, we gain the ability to sort objects according to their size and shape. That is called as seriation. Transitivity means the ability to recognize the logical relationships in a serial order, like A is taller than B. Okay, that is transitivity. And elimination of egocentrism. Then conservation, classification. Is it clear? So in infancy, which is developed? In infancy, which is developed?
Object permanence.
Object permanence. And then in pre-operational stage, Sana, pre-operational stage?
Animism.
Animism. Then what is animism?
Animism means we
Try. Animism. The
we
children play with the teddy bears and all.
consider the non-living objects as living objects.
Okay, that is animism. Then?
Egocentrism. Egocentrism.
Then?
Inability of conservation.
Conservation. That is pre-operational stage. And Reina, that is concrete operational stage. Concrete operational stage.
The stage which
we have some developments, right? Which are they? We gain some abilities.
Transition.
Transitivity. What is it? Transitivity.
Seriation is there, no?
Seriation, okay.
Transitivity.
Then?
Conservation.
Conservation.
Classification.
Very good. Classification. And one more.
Ability.
Eliminate something.
Eliminate egocentrism.
Very good. Very good, Reina. Then one more stage is there. That is formal operational stage. You can write the definition of conservation. Okay. Conservation is the idea that amount of a substance remains the same if the appearance is changed. Okay. It remains the same. Then the last stage is formal operational stage. The last stage of the Piaget's cognitive development is a formal operational stage. It is a fourth stage, and this stage that begins almost from the 11 years. So the formal operational stage begins at approximately 11 years of age. Sana, why are you smiling? What's the reason? Getting bored? No. Okay. Then, so in formal operational stage, this is a stage begins approximately from 11 years. Okay. And then it lasts into adulthood. It continues till adulthood. Okay. Formal operational stage, the 11 years onwards. And then it continues throughout our lifespan. The sensory motor stage is in infancy, and toddlerhood and childhood is the concrete operational stage. And here the formal operational stage, the adolescence and adulthood. It's a period for adolescence and adulthood. So during this stage, we can do mathematical calculations and all. Okay. Do you like maths, Reina? Sana? Meghna? Fine, fine. So during this stage, we think more abstractly and logically. We think, our thinking become more abstract and logical. What do you mean by abstract? We learned in last week, abstract and concrete.
Emotion.
Abstract means?
Emotion.
No. Concrete and abstract. Something related to our senses. Available or not? What is it?
Available to our senses.
That is?
Available to our senses.
That is?
Emotions. That is abstract.
No. Concrete is available to senses. Okay. Abstract means they can think beyond what is present. Just the opposite. Okay. Abstract means not available to the senses. What is not beyond. That is called as abstract. So in this stage, we think more abstractly and logically. During adolescence, we think more abstractly and logically. And during this stage, we can do mathematical calculations. We can start imaginations will be there. Daydreaming will be there. All these are the characteristics of formal operational stage. Okay. And then you have a reasoning ability. Reasoning ability. In adolescence, we gain about reasoning skills. What is reasoning? The process of thinking. Just note down the definition, okay? Reasoning ability. Reasoning ability means the process of thinking about something in a logical way, in order to form a conclusion. We think logically to form a conclusion. That is called as reasoning ability. Sana, read.
The process of thinking about something in a logical way in order to form a
Conclusion.
conclusion.
Blood relations. Do you heard about that? Blood relation is an example of this reasoning ability. The questions like pointing to a photograph and a man said,
Ma'am,
yes, right?
ma'am,
Right.
can you repeat once more the reasoning?
The definition?
Yeah.
Yeah, write it down. The process of thinking about something in a logical way. The process of thinking about something in a logical way in order to form a conclusion. In order to form a conclusion. Okay, that is reasoning ability. For an example, blood relations. Blood relation. What do you mean by blood relation? You can see some questions like a man pointing to a photograph and say, I have no brother and sister, then, but the man's father is my son's. These kind of questions, right? Did you heard about these kind of questions? Did you go through this kind of questions? The blood relation questions, okay. Pointing to a photograph and a man said, I have no brother and sister. Then, but the man's father is my father's son. Okay, this is a relation, the blood relation. These kind of questions, we need reasoning ability to solve that questions. I can't do these kind of questions. I don't know why. This is reasoning ability. To solve these kind of blood relation questions, we need reasoning. Reasoning means the process of thinking about something in a logical way in order to form a conclusion. We need to think logically, then only we reach the conclusion. That is called as reasoning ability. Then propositional thinking is there. That is it, propositional thinking. That is propositional thinking. So the first is reasoning ability. What is that, Reena? Reasoning ability, then propositional thinking. In formal operational stage, we begin to think more abstractly and logically, and we gain the reasoning abilities, and the next is propositional thinking. Note down the definition, okay? Propositional thinking means we assess logic of verbal statement. We assess the logic of verbal statements. Sana, right? Propositional thinking means we assess the logic behind the verbal statements without real world circumstances. Logic of verbal statements without real world circumstances. Okay, that is propositional thinking. The logic of verbal statements without real world circumstances. Okay. I'm going to give a 50 rupee coin to you. Are you ready to get it? I'm going to give you a 50 rupee coin to you. Are you ready to get it? Meghna, are you ready? Do you want 50 rupee coin?
It's coin, right? We doesn't have 50 rupees.
That is called as propositional thinking. Okay. That is called as propositional thinking. So we think about the logic behind a verbal statement. Okay, the logic behind a verbal statement is called as propositional thinking. And next, your imagination improves. You dream, daydreaming is there. So your imagination is improved. So we think more abstractly, imagination is there, reasoning ability is there, propositional thinking. And the last is hypothetical deductive reasoning. Did you heard it? Hypothetic deductive reasoning. What does it make now? Hypothetic deductive reasoning.
We state a statement of belief before anything is proven.
Okay, that is called as hypothetic deductive reasoning. And we can formulate the hypothesis. Hypothesis means the best guess. The guess, that is called as hypothesis. Okay, so we begin to guess something before we enter into a situation. We think about how it will conclude. Before concluding, we're thinking about that. That is called as hypothetic deductive reasoning. So we finished the 4 stages. Okay, which are the 4 stages? Unmute and tell. Everyone, please unmute and tell.
Sensory motor,
Sensory motor,
preoccupational,
preoccupational. Meghna is smart.
concrete operational, and formal operational.
Okay, fine. Then what about the ages, Reena? Ages. Age of each stage.
From infancy to 2 years, it's sensory motor stage, and pre-operational stage. It's from 2 to 7, from 7 to 11. 11
7 to 11?
11 years, it's concrete operation state. From 11 to adolescence and adulthood is formal operation state.
Okay. Sana, in sensory motor stage, which characteristics is developed in sensory motor stage?
Object permanence.
Object permanence. Okay. Then Meghna, in pre-operational stage?
Egocentrism.
Egocentrism. Then? Sorry?
Animism.
Animism. Then?
Lack of conservation.
Lack of conservation. Okay, fine. Reina, concrete operation stage. We learn a list of things. What are they?
Elimination of egocentrism.
Very good. Elimination of egocentrism.
Classification.
Classification.
Transitivity.
Transitivity. What is it? Transitivity. Then?
Series.
Seriation.
Seriation, okay.
What is seriation, Sana?
They have the ability to they have the ability to think more.
Seriation. Meghna, help. What is seriation?
Have the ability to identify the objects by their shape, size, and all.
Okay. The ability to sort, okay. Not to identify, ability to sort. What is it, Sana? What is seriation?
The ability to sort objects on the basis of size and shape.
Okay. Then in formal operational stage, Sana, continue. Formal operational stage. We begin to think.
Would be abstract and
abstract thinking is there. Then
reasoning ability.
Yeah, very good. Reasoning ability.
Then hypothetical deductive thinking.
Very good. Then giving 50 rupee coin is what is it, Reena? Try, Sana. Propositional
Thinking.
thinking. Then Reina continue. Informal operational stage. Anything else? Hmm? Informal operational stage. Anything? Look.
Hypothetical.
One more. Imagination. What is it? Imagination. You can note it down like this, okay? So you have no confusions. In sensory motor stage, object permanence. Pre-operational stage, egocentrism, animism, and lack of conservation. Concrete operational stage, classification, seriation, transitivity, elimination of egocentrism. And informal operational stage, the thinking become abstract and logically, the imagination is there, hypothetical deductive reasoning, and reasoning ability, propositional thinking. Is it clear? So we finish the stages of development. Okay, then take the page number 44. Sana, read. 44, adolescence and cognition. Read the first two paragraphs.
Because of the cognitive development, the personality of adolescents undergoes many changes. They have now properly grown mental and physical abilities. Their language development is quite advanced. They have abstract thinking and reasoning, developed insight and a broader understanding. As a result, they are able to reason and discuss about subjects like religion and politics and formulate their views. They are able to critically observe various situations and start criticizing other adults like parents and teachers. They challenge adults' decisions. They can think about the damage that the nuclear weapons can cause to society and humanity as a whole.
Reina, continue. The last three paragraphs. They form. Great.
They form their own ideals and follow them. They dream to imagine themselves as a crusader of forming the society. They do daydreaming a lot and sometimes find solution to their problems in those dreams, which they otherwise cannot find it in reality. Adolescents are able to understand double meaning, the meaning dialogues in the essence of literature with bit of humor, satire, and enjoy them. Adolescents also develop their own code language and slang. They become more self-conscious about their looks and spend most of their time before for a mirror and their pocket money to buy fashionable accessories. The adolescents challenge uh, social and cultural religious values and advocate their for practices solution of problems. It, they don't like hypocrisy of adults about vices and virtues. They they
They are
they are now fully equipped to
equipped.
to act according to their thoughts, to develop value for their life and type at this gesture. They don't challenge the views or perception of the others directly, but rather
Rather try to put forth
try
their
to
own
for the
options
options
indirectly.
indirectly. This
This
happens
happens because the
because
cognitive
cognitive
development
development
forms a
stimulates
sensibility in adolescence with time.
time.
Okay, so during adolescence, you have certain changes. Just like as physical and emotional changes, during adolescence, we have some cognitive changes. Which are they? You can underline or note it down. Because of the cognitive development, your personality change. Okay, due to this cognitive development, your personality changes. Due to this personality change, you have some list of changes in your thinking pattern. Which are they? The language development is advanced. You can underline or note the points. Okay, language development is advanced. It's in the second line, last of the second line. Okay. The language development is advanced and they have abstract thinking. Try to note it down, okay? It's better. So language development is advanced. They have abstract thinking. They have abstract thinking, broader understanding. So they begin to understand the relationships. They begin to understand the word meanings, the double meanings. Okay. They begin to understand all that thing. So broader understanding. The third point is broader understanding is the during adolescence. Daydreaming. Fourth is daydreaming. So language development is advanced. They have abstract thinking. Abstract thinking means thinking beyond what is present, and then broader understanding, daydreaming, and they form their own ideas and follow them. They form their own ideas and follow them. Adolescents try to create their own ideas and follow the ideas they create. And they understand the double meaning dialogues. Okay, it is very important, right? Try to understand the double meanings in verbal sentences. So adolescent also gain that ability, understanding the double meanings, and they sometimes they create code languages. Sometimes they create code languages. And they become more aware about the self. And they become more aware about the self. So, what is self, Meghna? Self.
It is who I am.
Who I am. Okay. Two types of self, personal self and social self. Okay. So these kind of self-development is also take place during adolescence. That's why your thinking pattern is changed. And then they can differentiate the real self and ideal self. They can differentiate the real self and ideal self. What is real self and ideal self? Reina, try. What is real self and ideal self? Real self. Real, as the name says, real. So it's based on actual experiences. I'm short. That is my real self. So what is my ideal self? To become taller. Okay, that is my beliefs or future goals. That is called as ideal self. So these self-development and ideal self-development is there during adolescence. That's why their cognition and thinking pattern happens. And then they can visualize their future. The next change is they can visualize their future and move towards their goal. They can visualize the future and move towards the goal. They can visualize the future and move towards the goal. These all are the changes, the cognitive changes during adolescence. These are the cognitive changes during adolescence. Meghna, just read the points. Hurry up, okay? Just read.
Personality changes, language advancement and abstract thinking, broader understanding, daydreaming, from form their own ideal type and real
They
self.
form their own ideas and follow their ideas.
Then develop ideal and real self.
They can differentiate the real self and ideal self. They can differentiate what is ideal self and real self. Then
they can visualize their future and they move towards their
they
goal.
follow behind the future goals. Okay, these all are the changes during adolescence, the cognitive changes during adolescence. Okay, any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, fine. So next class is on board 8. Okay, board 8 at 3:40. Okay, take care. Bye.